Hello guys, welcome back. More D&D 5th edition homebrew content, covering another race today. Modrons. I love these things. They're so funny. Let me first find you the original image for like a Modron from like 1st edition is absolute nightmare fuel. And it's not that image. Um, yes, like Mike Wazowski question mark. Who? I don't know who designed that, but 5th edition Modron. They're little guys. They're a little silly, but I kind of like it. Um, quote. You desire a quote. The one in the prime does not give quotes. That's Primus to a record keeper of the Fraternity of Order. Um, Planescape is something I really enjoy as a D&D concept. I wish they covered more of it in 5th edition. Like the way 2nd edition got so much Planescape stuff, I wish they did that for 5th edition. Um, I got a bunch of the Planescape 2nd edition online PDFs, and I've actually been rewriting them as 5th edition content. Um, for the pure love of the sport, I have not gotten very far. It's very annoying sometimes, but for the pure love of the sport, I just want to learn so much about the planes. Um, and these guys are just silly and hilarious. So let's get into this. Modrons are the crafted spawn of the one in the prime. That's Primus. He's the ruler of Mechanus. Um, that's the plane of pure order. For those who don't know, far far right on the Great Wheel cosmology. Crafted with a human intelligence, they are essentially a robotic body melded together with a humanoid brain and eye. It's a big old eye and a big old brain, but they're the smart, lawful, orderly ones. So who am I to question? Though their human-esque capability of sight and speech, their thoughts are heavily warped and can only be determined as the most logical thought of any given situation. So DMs who run these guys are the definition of logic. You look up logic in a D&D dictionary, you see these guys. Um, they only do what's logical. Modron live on the plane of Mechanus, and they serve their master Primus as if he were a god. Modron are the bottom of the totem pole of Mechanus. They are the rock bottom of Modron hierarchy. Their superior, a hierarch Modron, this is an image of one, possesses more powerful skills and abilities, though they all answer to the one in the prime. As I have stated before, these images are not mine, not ChatGPT. Most of these have come from uh, D&D books and or the Forgotten Realms wiki. So don't I don't take credit for any of the images here. Built for a purpose. Modrons are each individually crafted for a specific task. Due to this nature, there are many forms of Modron. However, they all follow one consistent trend due to being made by the same person. They never have more than 10 eyes. They never have more than 8 legs/arms. They can or cannot have wings. They can really kind of be made however you want. And as a playable race, I think that's super cool. Because, like, yeah, you got a human, which can be different, different skin colors, different hairstyles, different clothing options, but ultimately it's a human. It looks like a human. Modrons are obviously very mechanical and like metallic and such like that, and they do follow these little trends, but like this Modron looks nothing like this Modron, who looks nothing like this one. I guess these two kind of look similar, but I just think the customizability of Modrons are so cool. Um, the other thing I would like to mention with build for a purpose is they're really hard to do other things. So they showed up in a campaign I'm currently running because of Wild Magic Sorcerer. Um, and they encountered an archer and two brawlers, and they showed up. They just appeared out of nowhere, and they're like, "We're here to investigate the disturbance in the natural law and order of life as we know it." And that's all they were there to do. They they were there for that. Once they were done, they would go back to Mechanist. And to their credit, the players were working on resolving a tear in the time space reality, joining the material plane to the Feywilds. So the Modrons were there justly, but like a brawler Modron, which I assume is this little guy, uh, cannot pick up a bow and use it well at all. He's not programmed for that. Or this guy with a spear, again, cannot pick up a bow and use it. Not programmed for it. So that kind of comes into play later with their stats. But all machine, due to the Modron being built as logical machines, they abide by unique properties. Modrons are immune to lots of psionic-related abilities and effects, and do not require food as energy. Instead, however, they consume small chunks of metal as their food source, so don't leave your trusty store lying around for too long. If you're another party member, keep an eye on your stuff, because Modrons might eat it. Names. Modrons are names named with the code made by the one and the prime. The code goes as follows: Modron, Mon, plus primary function plus model number. Example: Mon Defense 218, Mon Chef 23, Mon Butler 99, so on and so forth. The two in the campaign that I was talking about earlier, we had Mon Wild 125, I believe, and Mon Brawler 218 or something. So it was obvious that one of them was a brawler, the other one, I guess Wild was a little ambiguous, but it was an archer. Modron traits. They're built for their purpose and their purpose only. Due to this, they can only gain proficiency in skills from magic items, spells, and their class features. Backgrounds and other traits do not give Modrons any skill proficiencies. So, there's a little bit of a downside for Modrons. Ability score modification. Your constitution is increased by 4, your charisma is reduced by 2, and one other score of your choice other than constitution is reduced by 1. Unless destroyed, Modron live for an infinite amount of time. Purely lawful. That's the only option for alignment. If you are playing a Modron, you cannot be chaotic, you cannot be good, you cannot be evil, you have to be lawful neutral. Size, they average at a height of 2 to 5 feet, depending on the build. They can be small or medium. Don't recommend having large ones, but because they kind of can be customized however you want, if you're a DM and you'll allow large-sized Modrons, go right ahead. Speed of 20 feet. Modrons can have a flying speed of 40 feet, depending on if you choose to build one with wings. I, as a DM, even though I made these stats, as a DM, if you chose not to have one with wings, I would increase the walking speed then to 30 feet. Simply because, I mean, these legs are a little weak. They're a little small, right? But as a playable race, a speed of 20 feet would be terrible. So I would say if you don't choose wings, I, as a DM, would give you a speed of 30 feet, so that you're a little caught up with the party. Then Modron abilities, one track mind. Since Modron cannot learn any new skill proficiencies beyond their creation, meaning you cannot gain proficiencies in any skills via level up beyond first level, and as I said up top, you cannot get skill proficiencies for your background. You instead double your proficiency bonus in all the skills you're proficient in. So if your class gives you proficiency in like acrobatics or something, and your proficiency bonus is a +2 at, what would that be, like first level, you would add a +4 as well as your dexterity trait to acrobatics. Um, so that's the trade-off. You can't learn a ton of proficiencies, and you don't get new ones later on. But the proficiencies you do get for the proficiencies you do get, you double your proficiency bonus. So again, they're built for a purpose. They're not really good at other things. A toaster cannot be a microwave, uh, but a toaster is really good at being a toaster, and that's kind of how these guys work. You make one to be a spear fighter. It can't really do very well as a sword fighter, but by golly, is it awesome at spear fighting. All machine Modrons are immune to psychic damage and immune to fear and charmed conditions. Modron can speak Common, Thoras, and any one language you choose. Modron can learn new languages as they progress in their usage. Um, I believe I originally said they couldn't, and that was terrible. So yes, they can learn new languages as the campaign goes on. Um, yeah. Focus Blade, Modron can only have three proficiency or have proficiency in up to three types of weapons, but they can add their Constitution modifier to the attack roll if they so choose to. So that would be the 2-hit roll, not the 2 damage. But again, this goes back to they're built for a purpose, and they're gonna do that purpose really well. Clarification though. It says up to 3 types of weapon. When I say that, it does not mean simple or martial or ranged. I mean they are proficient in spear, glaive, bow, and that's it. Or short sword, long sword, and lance. That's it. You gotta pick 3 specific weapons. But again, add your Constitution modifier, which is increased by 4 for being a Modron, so that's a pretty good. Not the modifier. The modifier is not increased by 4, but Constitution itself is increased by 4, so that's pretty good. I could see these guys being high HP wizards or really good barbarians and fighters. Um, Modron gain proficiency in history, insight, and religion as a part of being a Modron. So again, you don't learn proficiencies from your background, but backgrounds usually give history, insight, and religion proficiencies. So there you go. You get it for being a Modron. Um, that's that's it. That's all I got for Modrons. They're little guys. They're little fun little guys. I imagine them having more like bright and cheerful AI voices. Um, but and they always seem to got a little bit of a smile on their faces, which I kind of like. Um, this is obviously for Modron playable race, not Modron Hierarch, because those guys are powerful. But let me know what you think down below, because I really like these guys. I think they're fun. Um, and yeah, have a good day.